I'm going to go from sourdough starter all the way to the finished product, which is the wonderful homemade sourdough bread. So while the world might be burning around us, at least we can enjoy really good homemade bread. Okay, so that is the sourdough starter that I started doing here on the channel last year. I did it just a few hours ago, and it has more than doubled. It's going to start spilling over. It's still growing, so it should be good, because typically what you want to do, from what I've been told, you want to make sure that you get the starter as it's just finished growing or right before that, like it is right now. Now, I typically do not measure things, but do use 4 cups. There, you can see that. I do use 4 cups of flour. I can't get the flour that I would, ooh, something made that drop down. Maybe it's this Long Island accent. Anyway, I usually do what I had heard is that there's basically a 4-to-1 ratio. So flour and the warm water. So I'll get that in a second, but I'm gonna have to dump this, they call the dry ingredients there. Again, I said I don't typically measure. So I just put in what I think is a good amount of salt, and I'll show what the texture is like so you know that the sourdough starter is ready to go. Okay, so what I was taught is that it's got that real, you see that? Oh, I see that. It's not watery. And again, I don't really measure, but I use about half of my starter, and then I will refeed that bad boy. That's what we want, good starter. And I will feed that. Now to feed it, I'm gonna go with about a cup and a half, 2 cups, it depends, till it's pretty, I'm gonna put it in there. It'll be fairly firm, and I'll add by eye. Again, I'm sorry, I might put maybe a 1/4 cup of warm water in there, and then I'll put it in the refrigerator so it can start growing again. I'll use it in a few days. All right, now I'm gonna put my warm water in there. I do it warm, and what you wanna make sure is that it's not too warm that'll burn you. See, because the sourdough starter, instead of using store-bought yeast, that's what's going to be our leaven. That's what's going to make the bread rise and give it that awesome sourdough flavor. Just about 105 degrees, just warm. It starts to get, I do that just to make sure it gets going, because I know you have to do that to activate the regular store-bought yeast. Maybe it's just a habit of mine. I don't know if it does anything, but that's what I do. Okay, I've got everything in the KitchenAid here, and I know that's an infamia. I should start this in the mixer and then get it here on the countertop, this nice new countertop over here. I get that, but to save time, I'm gonna leave it in here. The instructions that I got was that this goes for 2 minutes. So that's what I'm gonna do. I would imagine if I was gonna use this as a pizza dough, which, oh, I can't wait to do that. I gotta do that. If I was gonna use this as a pizza dough, then I would probably go 3 or 4 minutes, but we're gonna go just the 2 minutes. All right, that is our finished product. I will now form it, and I'll show you what it looks like when it is formed, but it looks pretty good, and it feels the right consistency. So let me form this and get it ready to sit overnight. All right, so I have it formed there. I let it sit overnight. I know some say let it proof for 36 to 48 hours. I give it I've done it that way. I think it's an overproof, at least for what I'm working with here. So I give it a day. So I let it sit out here in the KitchenAid all night, and then I will punch it down in the morning. I'll let it proof again. Then I get it ready to bake. Let's see what it looks like in the morning. All right, it's morning, time to unveil. Yes, look at that. It's looking great. I'm gonna punch that down. Yes, I will let that rise again and then get it set for the Dutch oven to bake. All right, I have formed my sourdough into a nice ball. I have scored it, and I was instructed to score it deeper. Boy, does it make a difference. But I have floured the bottom so it doesn't stick, and doing it in the Dutch oven, of course, is the best way to do it, because the steam that comes out, all the moisture that's being baked out of the bread, stays inside there. So it is time to bake, and what I like to do is I like to do it at 440 for about 51 minutes. So I'm gonna put this bad boy into the oven and see you in an hour. All right, here we go. Let's do the first unveiling of this. It should be perfect. Oh yeah, that looks incredible. Let's get it out of there. Oh man, that That, you got to do the, like in Ratatouille.
But the sound with the crust, listen.
Oh, you see, I have it on the sacrificial slab here. Yeah, so I'm gonna let it cool down so I can actually cut that bad boy open so we can get the first glimpse of the crumb. Oh, that looks good. All right, the sourdough is on the sacrificial altar. I've got the sacrificial knife and it's red. Ooh. It is time to cut this bad boy open and see the crumb. Okay, I have made the necessary incision. Here we go. We will open this up. All right, it's a little dense, but I think it looks really, really good. And you know what? It's gonna taste even better than it looks. So there you go. We went from sourdough starter to a beautiful sourdough bread loaf.